Tears of the Kingdom has had a very, very weird marketing cycle. It was announced almost 4 years ago, and we really haven't seen any gameplay. Let's talk about why. Hello there everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we're talking about Tears of the Kingdom and its marketing, all the trailers we've gotten, and kind of just analyzing why Nintendo hasn't really been showing it. Now I know what you're thinking, this is not a doom and gloom video. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I think the game's going to be delayed because they haven't shown it. Truthfully, I really don't believe that. I think it will hit its May 12th release date, and it will probably be a fantastic game. In fact, if anything, the lack of marketing has maybe elevated my hype to a point where it shouldn't be. When they announced the sequel to Breath of the Wild, 2017's definitive game of the year, I think most of us expected, oh, they're just going to reuse the map, going to be a quick sequel, get it out in like 3 years from Breath of the Wild's release, so late 2020, 2021, and it'd be simple. It'd be a simple sequel that doesn't really innovate that much. By Nintendo taking this long and not showing that much of the game, I have to say, everyone, it definitely has made me more curious. This has been in development potentially longer than any other Zelda game. I don't think any of us expected that to happen. But why? Why has it been taking so long, and why haven't they shown more of it? I think the first thing we need to talk about is its initial reveal and what that probably meant to Nintendo. So it was revealed at E3 2019, and it had that cool cinematic trailer, which we can assume is probably the beginning of the game, right? Where Zelda gets lost, and, you know, they have all these story hints and everything, and it was a really great trailer. Looked awesome. My assumption is that when that trailer was shown at E3 that year, they probably thought it was going to come out in either late 2020 or early 2021. I know that might sound crazy, but given the circumstances of what it was initially going to be, I think that's probably the case. But we had a little snafu in the world there for a couple years, and while development wouldn't have been halted completely, it certainly would have pushed things back. Originally, the first, I believe, official release window we had for Tears of the Kingdom, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, was 2022. So, factoring in COVID, I would assume this game was probably meant to come out in 2021, like I said, even maybe late 2020. The only weird thing in there would be Age of Calamity, so probably 2021, but either way, still way sooner than we're getting it, 2 years after that. By the time we get this game released, it'll have been almost 4 years since it was initially revealed, and we've only gotten 3 trailers for it. So like I said, I think what happened is Nintendo revealed this game expecting it to release the following year or maybe the year after that. But then, the world happened, and then they kind of got stuck. This isn't a Metroid Prime 4 situation. They can't announce a Zelda game with a trailer like that and then just not show it for 7 years. They need to keep showing it. They need to keep people at least somewhat in the loop, which is why I think they've been sprinkling in these trailers every year and a half, 2 years. I mean, we literally went 2 years without seeing this game. That's crazy. So I think they revealed the game and then realized, oh crap, we aren't going to have this ready in time. Let's just show them the bare minimum for as long as possible. And that gets me back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video. I'm not worried. I really think this game will probably impress all of us. It won't be as exciting as Breath of the Wild was because it's still using the same engine, and we kind of know what to expect going in terms of like the physics, and I'm sure they'll have more mechanics added, but it's still going to be the same, just greatly improved upon, hopefully. But I've seen so many people doom and glooming saying, oh, the game's going to get delayed, oh, they haven't shown it, oh, there's no way it's hitting its May 12th release date. If it doesn't hit that May 12th release date, something isn't right at that point, And to kind of answer the main question, the reason I initially thought of this video, I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, they aren't marketing it, what's going on? I don't really see that as an issue. It's February, and the game comes out in 3 months. That is more than enough time to kind of market a game like this. It's not like it was, years ago where you need to market a game for years in advance to really generate hype. Well, first of all, they have been doing that, just not to the extent the diehard Nintendo fan wants to have them do. We didn't get the big E3 blowout where they streamed it on Treehouse every day for a couple hours, right? But they don't need to do that. That was a very circumstantial time. The Wii U was failing. They had nothing to show, so they showed Breath of the Wild in an inadvertent way to promote the Switch without announcing the Switch at the time. In this case, they already have the install base. They already know people are going to buy the game, so why show it? Why spend that development time and that time in general marketing the game that far in advance when the game's going to sell anyway, And that isn't to say I don't think we're going to see the game. Obviously, they're going to do some sort of big blowout probably in March or April. I think we're all in agreement. We're probably getting a direct in February, next week, the week after, whenever it is, maybe early March even. But I think beyond that, we'll probably get some sort of big blowout in April. Maybe some Treehouse streams, maybe just a lot of gameplay, or maybe they will keep it close to their chest, and maybe they're just trying to something different here where it doesn't really matter because it's the sequel to their best game of all time for most people. Basically, the point I'm trying to make is the marketing has been weird because of COVID. This game was not supposed to be announced so far before it was released, so that's what happened. And to answer the whole thing of, oh, why aren't they showing it more? They still got 3 months, man. I think over these next 3 months, unless the game gets delayed, we're going to see so much Tears of the Kingdom, to the point where we're probably going to get sick of it. And honestly, I hope they don't. I hope we get, you know, one more major trailer that shows story stuff, new characters, all that, maybe some towns, and then maybe 30 minutes of gameplay. Just show me 30 minutes of Link exploring the world. Outside of that, I don't really need any more. I liked Breath of the Wild, and I think maybe even Breath of the Wild kind of does the marketing for this game in and of itself, as we talked about, because it's the sequel to what many people would consider their best game ever made. They don't really need to show, oh, this game's incredible. We kind of are going into it with the assumption that the game is incredible. So, once again, I do feel for the developers. There's probably a lot of pressure there to deliver on what Breath of the Wild promised, but I'm not worried. I'm not worried that this game has not been marketed. There was a lot going on in the world, and it's the sequel to a game that we already have established and are big fans of. I would say at this point, my biggest thing is I just want to see some gameplay. We've seen little snippets in the trailers, but I just want to see, like I said, even 10 minutes of just Link walking. That's all I want to see. Maybe see some gameplay of how you get up into the sky, you know, that kind of thing. But other than that, don't spoil much. We can go into this blind. The main appeal of Breath of the Wild is how all of us kind of went into it not knowing what to expect. And even that game, they marketed a lot, and there was still so much to discover. My hope is that Tears of the Kingdom can at least somewhat deliver on what Breath of the Wild did. It's going to be a lot harder because, once again, using the same engine, same map, kind of. You know, we'll have to see how much they tweaked it. But either way, I'm really excited for Tears of the Kingdom. I think most of us are. And I just don't really get these complaints that, they aren't showing it enough. Oh, the game's going to fail because they haven't been showing it enough. This game's going to be fine. It might not be as exciting as some of us want it to be because, once again, sequel to a pre-established game. But this game's going to be fine. It's probably going to be a serious Game of the Year contender, if not Game of the Year. And I'm frankly getting in that zone. I am getting to the point where I'm like, man, this game comes out in 3 months. That's crazy. And, you know, people, it's so funny. People are so kind of double-sided. We complain when games are announced 3 years in advance. And to be fair, this game was announced almost 4 years in advance. Then when they don't show anything until 3 months from release, we complain. You gotta pick one. This might not be the best example, but like, you know, Metroid Dread in 2021, that's perfect. That's how every video game should be released. Announced and released within like 3 or 4 months. That is beautiful. Beautifully done. You can add a little bit more to that. I think a mainline Zelda or even a Mario game, you can add, you know, a full year one. You know, announce the previous year, release the following year. Any more than that, they don't need to do. And like I said, I don't think that was their intent with Tears of the Kingdom. I don't think they intended for it to take so long. So I'm very excited to see what they're cooking up, see what they've added to it. I'm sure it's expanded well beyond their initial scope of it being DLC for Breath of the Wild. And I'm just really excited for this game. You know, 3 months, probably next week, the week after, we're going to be seeing it again. And they'll be playing it in just a few weeks after that. So very exciting times to be a Zelda fan, to say the least. 2022 was a little bit dry for us over here on this side of the Nintendo camp. But let me know down in the comments below. Are you excited for Tears of the Kingdom? And have you been weary of their marketing for this game? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that they have not showed very much of it? If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing for more Nintendo topics like this each and every day. This has been Bo Talks Games, and until next time, folks, bye-bye.